eyes, nose, or mouth, and cover coughs and sneezes. Clean and disinfect the objects you touch often, like your phone, the remote, and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And if you're the one who's sick, stay home. This station is part of the Beasley Best Community of Care, and we care about your family. For more info, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Ready? Good morning, good morning, good morning, Atlanta. This is Dr. Carissa Hines, and you are listening live to Medical Minutes with Dr. Carissa. We are live every Thursday at 11 a.m. on Real 1100 a.m. WWWE, broadcasting out of Atlanta, Georgia. So thank you so much for joining us this Thursday. And let me just say really quick before we get started that I just want to thank you all so much. Last week was my birthday, and we broadcasted on my actual birthday, and you all were just so wonderful and warm with birthday wishes, and it just made the day just even better, and I thank you so much for that. So as we usually do every Thursday morning, let's start with our shout outs. Shout outs to my number one fan. Hey mom, I hope you are having a happy and fabulous Thursday morning. Shout out to family in Houston, Texas, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Charlotte, North Carolina, Seattle, Washington, Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia, Woodbridge, Virginia, Center, Alabama, Oxford, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Columbus, Georgia, Washington, D.C., Chesapeake, Virginia, Hobbs, New Mexico, Temecula, California, Opelika, Alabama, Cedar Bluff, Alabama, Lusby, Maryland, and College Park, Georgia, and wherever you happen to be listening and watching from. So, as always, if you let me know where you are listening, and I love new listeners, we love to welcome new listeners to the Medical Minutes family. Just let me know where you're listening from, where you're watching from on Facebook, and I will be happy to shout out your city next week on our show. As I said, we are broadcasting live from the WWWE Real 1100 AM studios here in Atlanta, but you can also stream our show on www.real1100.com, and you can watch us on Facebook. We stream on 3 Facebook pages: my page, the Medical Minutes with Dr. Carissa page, the Real 1100 WWWE Real 1100 AM Facebook page, and since we are a proud member of the Old Fashioned Health Network family, we also stream on the Old Fashioned Health Network page. We also have a YouTube page, so find Medical Minutes with Dr. Carissa, and we are on iHeartRadio. We are also on several podcast platforms, so if you missed the show today, you can listen at some other time at your convenience. We are on iTunes, Google, Captivate, Spotify, Amazon, Overcast, TuneIn, Pocket Cast, and Stitcher podcast platforms. Follow us on social media, and if you like the show, please find us on Facebook at Medical Minutes with Dr. Carissa, and share the page with a friend. I am trying to build our following here because that will be great for me, great for the show. More exposure is always better, of course. So please sign up to like the show. We are on Instagram at Medical Minutes with Dr. Carissa and on Twitter at Minutes Doctor. So today, before we get into today's stuff, let's give a COVID update. So we talked about COVID last week or the week before. So at a glance, we have 29 million cases in the United States with 535,000 deaths, unfortunately. But the good news on the horizon is in the vaccination arena. So far, 113 million vaccinations have been administered in this country. And so that is wonderful because we are getting so close to that herd immunity every day. And I think that we are vaccinating at least 2 million people a day at this point, which is amazing. So we will definitely get there. We just kind of have to hang in a little while longer. And of course, the Biden administration is saying by May-ish that every adult who wants to be vaccinated can be vaccinated, that there will be enough of a supply, and that is definitely encouraging. If you need more information about the vaccine, you can go to covid.cdc.gov. You can also contact your local health department, or you can go to cdc.gov/vaccines/COVID-19. And I've published this link on the Medical Minutes with Dr. Carissa Facebook page. So if you need any help in finding where you can get vaccinated, or if you are eligible at this time for vaccination, that's a great place to start. So, into our show today. By a show of hands, who wants to quit their job and go live on a sunny beach and enjoy life? Right? Okay, Greg has got his hands up. I've got my hands up. And even my little special guest, my daughter, is here with me in the studio today. She's got her hands up. I don't know why she's got her hands up. She doesn't work, so I don't get it. But whatever. She's got her hands up anyway. Now, by a show of hands, who is really prepared to do that? Yeah, my hand is not raised. Greg's hand is not raised. So there we are, right? So this morning, we will explore a very, very serious yet under-discussed topic of burnout. So what is burnout when we talk about that, right? So when we speak about it, usually we're talking about it within the context of our occupation. Now, there are some people who truly, truly love what they do for a living. They love their job, and they have no plans or desire to retire. They want to work well past the retirement age and, all of that, right? And, there are even these folks who win like the Mega Millions lottery and they still go to work. I don't understand these folks, but okay, whatever. They exist, right? It's a thing. And then there's everybody else, right? So according to a Gallup poll, and they surveyed about 7,500 people, employed people, and this was employed across across a different spectrum of jobs. 23% of those 7,500 stated that they were burnt out. They felt burnt out at their jobs most of the time. And 44% of those 7,500 said that they feel burnt out at the job sometimes. So you have, 60, upwards almost 70% of people saying that they are experiencing some type of burnout on their job. And that's a very significant number, right? So, drilling it down a little bit. So I, of course, as a physician, I drill it down to my profession, right? Because that's what we all want to know. So if you're an accountant, you want to know how accountants feel about things. So speaking from the medical profession as a physician, In 2020, so last year, about 12,000 doctors were surveyed. I was not a part of this, but anyway, 42% of those physicians reported feeling burned out in the year before, so in 2019. 69% said that they were somewhat or very happy before the pandemic, but that number fell to 49% during the pandemic year, so during last year. Only 49% of physicians said that they felt happy in their occupation. 51% of female physicians, compared with 36% of men, said that they felt that they were experiencing some type of burnout within their jobs. And 79%, so that's staggering to me, 79% of physicians that took this survey said that their burnout feelings began before the pandemic. And so why is that dangerous, right? Because of course, if these physicians decide that they don't want to be physicians anymore, then that is going to be a massive shortage in physicians, which is going to have just rippling effects in healthcare and, just in everything else, right? And so, let me just take a minute to pause and note here that these feelings were expressed by these physicians despite the financial advantages of the occupation, right? So, because a lot of the times people, and when I talk with my colleagues, there's the expression that people don't really care about our pain as physicians because we make good money, right? Because, of course, money solves everything, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Yep, that was just a rhetorical question. I was being a little sarcastic. But so, 79% of these physicians were burnt out, even though they probably earn a very good living. So money is not the solution to everything, right? And there are definite problems within every profession. And so, that leads to the question, why are these doctors feeling burnt out? Or why do you feel burnt out on your job, right? So back to the original question here. What is burnout? So according to the Mayo Clinic, occupational burnout is a state of emotional and physical exhaustion that leaves a person unable to cope with their demands in their professional lives. The World Health Organization, or WHO, defines it as a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. So let's look at some causes of occupational burnout. There is an excessive or prolonged stress on the job. People feel that they're doing work that is unchallenging. They feel that they do not have control over their work or their work product. And they feel that they are taking on too many responsibilities or have a lack of supportive work relationships. Some symptoms of burnout: exhaustion, fatigue, cynicism, detachment or depersonalization from work. Every day feels like a bad day, because, we all have bad days, right? And there are just some days that you're just like, I just hate it here and I can't stand this job and I want to quit. But if every day feels that way, right, that's pretty significant. There are feelings that tasks are a waste of energy. You may be frequently ill with minor to major symptoms or illnesses. There's a sense of failure or self-doubt. There's a lack of or loss of motivation on the job. There's a sensation of helplessness. Employees may be quick to anger. Employees may withdraw from responsibilities or may skip work altogether, come late, leave early, anything to avoid being there. There is some isolation, and there's also procrastination there. So there are 4 types of burnout. Occupational burnout is one, and that's what we'll discuss today. There is the chronic illness burnout. There is an autistic burnout, and there is caregiver burnout. And we're going to do a separate show about caregiver burnout because that is a rising problem, particularly after or during this pandemic. The WHO has recognized employee or occupational burnout as an occupational phenomenon and has included it in the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases. So this is a real thing. This is a disease. It is not classified as a mental disorder, however, but is classified as a disease. And so, when we come back from the break, we will introduce our guest for today and we will get into our discussion. Excuse me. We'll be back after a short break.
I said I'm out of class.
Huh?
I said, do you want me to go get it? Because I'm out of class.
Get the key out. It's in the little pouch. No. No. The other, I know I got a bazillion small pouches. It's the one that has Vivian on it. The Louis Vuitton that has the little chain.
Yeah, okay.
Huh?
Let me find it.
Okay.
Okay. This one, right?
Is the key in there? Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Good morning, and we are back. I am Dr. Carissa Hines, and you are listening live to Medical Minutes with Dr. Carissa. And so, we have a guest today, a very special guest, good friend of mine. Our guest today is Dr. Nneka Ichoku, who is a board-certified osteopathic family physician specializing in acupuncture and emotional freedom tapping. She is the host of the Victorious Working Moms podcast, helping overworked and undersupported professional working mothers grow, glow, and go. I like that. She is the owner of Victorious Touch Acupuncture. Dr. Ichoku is a proud Christian, wife, mother of 5, Nigerian American, Niger, stand up. She is a graduate of Xavier University and a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She received her Master of Public Health degree in epidemiology from the St. Louis University School of Public Health and her Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, Medical Minutes family, please welcome to the show, Dr. Nneka Ichoku. Dr. Ichoku, hello, hello. It is so lovely to reconnect with you. How have you been? Uh-oh. Did I lose Dr. Nneka? Dr. Ichoku? I think we have lost the connection there. We're going to hold on 1 second. I think we have lost Dr. Ichoku. We lost her? Alrighty. So we are going to take a brief break and we'll get Dr. Ichoku back on the line. Thanks.